Welcome to our live training session number 17, part 5. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at using our flex fuel tuning feature and dialing in our closed loop PID style boost control. We're going to have a lot to cover, so let's jump into this live training session so we can get started. Welcome back to our live training here with our Honda Civic using AEM Infinity. Now in the last video, we mapped out our low and high cam volumetric efficiency tables. We mapped out our spark timing for pump gas, and we also dialed in here our protection feature for our oil protection, as well as taking a look at our knock control. We've established here a pretty solid knock curve with low timing, and we know we're seeing a little bit of activity here as we're bringing the timing in. This is 12-to-1 compression motor on 93 octane, so we were getting a lot of boost. We were hitting about 17, 18, 19, 20 pounds of boost with the boost creep. So now we're going to be going in and switching it over to ethanol. So we can take a look here, and we're jumping back into our flex fuel tab here. We're going to be seeing that our ethanol content is showing about 12%. So we need to go and drain the gas. I'm going to go drain the gas, and then we're going to be putting in the ethanol. We have about 15 gallons here of the ethanol fuel. So we're going to put it in, bring this ethanol content as high as we possibly can. And I'm going to go here real quickly before we do that. I'm going to jump into my ignition timing table. I'm going to be copying my table 1. I'm going to copy to my table 2. Now my table 2 is going to be used exclusively for the ethanol when I get into the higher content amount. Now when I was doing my tuning here in my ignition blend table, I zeroed this out, my range from 0.1, 0.2 to 0.3, because it was focusing just on my ignition table 1. So if I have a value of 0 in my blend table, that's going to be associating just on my spark timing here in my table 1. If I have a value of 1 here, we can see at 100% ethanol content, we'd be all in the values of table 2. Now what I'm going to do here is bias this a little bit differently. I'm going to fill these values back in here. So at 0 to 10%, I'm going to be leaving it at 0. So I'm going to have no influence for my table 2. But at 20% here, I'll put it and I'll leave that at 0. But what I'll do here at 70%, I'm going to be going here and setting it all of 100% value on my table 2. Now, at 70% ethanol content and higher, I find the knock suppression is no better at 70% than 90%. So we're able to run all the timing we really want on 70%. And that's why I'm going to be biasing my table here. So once I reach 70% ethanol, we're going to be running 100% of the value from my ignition table 2. And then let's go here from our 10% ethanol blend, which is going to be 0 to 10 is going to be typical pump gas we find at the gas pumps here. We're going to go and highlight between these two. So from 0.1 to 0.7, so 10% to 70% ethanol. I'm going to do X and do a horizontal interpolation, and now we're going to be finding the blend ratio is going to be changing here between these two tables according to our ethanol content from 10% to 70%. So let's go here, Shift Control C, and we're going to be accepting these changes here. Now one thing I am going to do for my ignition timing table 2, I'm going to go and bump up the values. The timing is definitely going to be way too conservative for our ethanol, especially for 70 to 80% ethanol, which is we're going to get the content up that high in this car. I'm going to go in the top of the table here at 40 pounds of boost. Let's go here from 6,000 and up. I'm going to set this at something like 5 degrees ignition timing. Then I'm going to go down and just blend this in here. I'm going to go from